All right. I have some very interesting news. First and foremost, with the new union comes new responsibilities, basically. If you want to coin a take off my knee pad again. If you want to coin a movie or a quote, five lead positions out of the 6 that are there are opening up. One of the managers on one of the sides of the airport called another employee a pussy. I'm willing to bet that the altercation was a ploy to get the manager fired, because nobody over there liked him. So that manager finally cracked and said something that got himself fired. Well, one of the leads that I'm friends with, he's being promoted to supervisor over there to take over that position. Excuse me. The other leads, one of them is stepping down just to be stepping down because it's too rough on him, I guess. I don't know really his story on why he's stepping down, but he's stepping down. A second lead, or a third lead, I should say, he is stepping down, not right now, but soon, because he wants to go back to having 4 10-hour days and 3 days off, simply because he feels that he's not spending enough time with his kids anymore. So that's why he's stepping down. The fourth lead got fired because he crashed the golf cart into a tug, and apparently he was texting while driving, or he was looking at his phone while driving, so yeah, now you use your turn signal, you asshole. And then, so he got fired for that. There is a 5th position that has always really technically been open, simply because that lead has been injured. He had back surgery and a bunch of other stuff. So that lead position has technically been open the whole entire time, but there have been other leads compensating for that position. One of the other leads that has been covering for that shift, he he got a different job. So there's his position. And the one that I said that went to be a supervisor over on, we call it Mesa side. There's Mesa side, American side, Swiss side, and Southwest side. There's cargo side, and that's all the ones that I know of. I think there's a couple others, but they kind of correspond to like Mesa and Swiss. They coincide to actual places. Mesa side is closest to Mesa, Arizona, and Swiss side actually is where all the trainees go the first time around when they get into the airport. That's where the training office is and all that stuff. So that's why we call it Swiss side. All the other sides are pretty much self-explanatory. Anyways, so there's going to be there's currently 4 positions open. Well, technically there's only 3 positions open right now. But only 2 positions open right now. Once Hamad steps down and Zuber goes over to Mesa side, that'll be 4 positions open. And then when Loomis steps down, that'll be a 5th position open. So, depending on how many people have actually applied, I know at least 3 people have applied, because this morning for me, the manager walked into his office and bent over and picked up 3 pieces of paper on the ground, and those were the application slips. Now, I'd say I have a 80 to 90% chance that I am going to get the lead position, regardless of how anything goes. The last time I applied for lead position, the manager didn't pick me, but he gave me basically pointers in what to say and expect and all that stuff. So, yeah. And then he also kept that application and with the notes on it and all that stuff. And he said that, I don't remember word for word what he said, but what I gathered, he said, is that he's not even going to look at my new application. He's going to look at the old application and basically just go off of that, because that last application was perfect, pretty much, or almost close to it. I do have a cheat sheet somewhere, basically a copy of that resume or the application. So I'm going to essentially look for that, because I'm fairly certain it's at home somewhere, but it's a strong possibility that I might have accidentally thrown it out. And if that's the case, then yeah, I'm gonna need to step up my game. Is it me, or is this guy's taillights actually out? No, they're on. His headlights are all fucked up though. Or his headlights are all fucking cross-eyed. And not hitting the pavement in front of them at all. So, anyways, yeah. I'd say an 80-90% chance that I will get the job or the position. I would say probably a 30% chance that I will get the exact position that I want. I want my friend and my coworker's position because he had the same hours that I start and end and the same days off. So my days and weekend off do not change. So I like having a weekday and a weekend off together, because on the weekday you can get to all those medical appointments and all those stores and places that aren't open on the weekend. But then you do have that weekend where you could just rest and not do anything really, clean the house or whatnot. So hopefully I will get my 1 to 9:30 Friday and Saturday off lead position. That would be awesome. The one lead that is going to be staying, and this is another thing, he might not even be staying, the one lead. First and foremost, he has a buddy that he carpools to work with at the same time as his current schedule. So he probably won't change shifts. And that's where I'm saying I got a 30% chance of getting the shift that I want. Because he technically has the seniority, and he can pick whatever. I mean, like 6 or 5 shifts open out of 6. He can literally take whatever shift he wants. Not that it matters to me really, as long as I get one of the afternoon shifts. I'm an afternoon type person. I'm not a morning person. Ooh, drift and drag. God damn it. Okay, which leads me into another issue. Back to the original issue that I started talking about, actually. With unions comes new responsibilities. In order for us to get paid the higher pay rate, the people who run doubles after doubles after doubles after doubles, working basically 2 shifts every day for a week straight, for a month straight, working on their days off, stuff like that. In order for us to get a higher pay rate, they have to give that up. But the kicker is, since we don't have certain shifts, we are now being mandatoried or mandoed on days that are open. So on the 15th, in 2 days, technically about 1 day, because I volunteered to mando in the morning shift. God, that's gonna kill me. We're now being mandoed. So in a way, it's a fair thing to do. That way, all the guys that do all that overtime and take up all the overtime positions. Don't hog them all. But then that really creates a problem for the people who don't want to do overtime, don't want to work those days that they're off or the hours that they're off. Those people that don't want to work a day straight. So that's a problem. It's a problem for me because I'm the type of person, I just want to do my 40 hours and get out of there. When you're doing physical work like that, like I do, check my videos, because I do have somewhat some videos that somewhat depict what I do. It's under the Mavic Pro, or I forget what it's called. It was my not Mavic Pro. What the fuck am I talking about? I have it in here. Not exactly the safest thing to do. Drive and look for your video camera. That's supposed to be in there too. I think it fell to the bottom somewhere. Oh no, there it is. Vivitar. I don't know why I had Magic Pro in my head. Probably because one guy that I follow on YouTube is just got a Mavic Pro. Vivitar DVR 758 HD. It is the biggest piece of bullshit. Not the biggest piece of bullshit that I have ever bought and used, but basically the only one that I bought specifically for these video logs, these vlogs. Complete waste of money. First and foremost, it's not true HD. It's mono sound. The case that it came with, the waterproof case, turns everything blue. The battery doesn't last very long. When you do record, it cuts off every freaking like 5 minutes or so, depending on the setting that it's on. But essentially it cuts off every 5 to 10 minutes, which is BS. And it's just annoying. The only thing that was good about it was the mount. The mount was actually pretty awesome. I still have the mount, and I would totally use it if I could, but that requires money to buy parts to adapt, and even though those parts to adapt it would probably cost, next to nothing, I don't have a game plan on how to adapt it. So that's kind of out of the question right now. What I really want is to I might actually do this. I might call up my dad and ask him if he still uses his GoPros. My dad has some GoPros that he would use when he would go ATV riding. And I might ask him if I can if I can either borrow or have them and make my videos with those. So there's that. I'm thinking that those would work, but then I'd need to get mounts. But I think the Vivitar mount is compatible with the GoPros, so that might be something that's viable. that would be perfect, because then I would be able to mount the video camera right where I want it, like I had it last time, right behind the rearview mirror. That way you get more of a centered look. The only thing that I really wish it had was this view. A view pointing backwards and a view pointing forwards. That way you can get this double view. And you know, I like this double view thing. Another option would be to hardwire a computer in here. Just like a little, I don't know what, maybe something as small as a notepad or something, or tablet, or something as same size as my phone, or a little bit bigger, and mount that somewhere in here, and just have a bunch of cameras hooked into it, like a lot of companies do with their fleet vehicles, so that you know, they can keep an eye on what's going on, or something, you know, some kind of security system, video surveillance that plugs into one unit but has multiple viewing angles. That'd be pretty cool. But hopefully I get the position. Like I said, I know at least 3 people have applied. Possibly a 4th has applied. One of them, the 4th one that I'm talking about, the guy said that he's probably going to apply, but he probably doesn't want the position. I'm thinking if he does get one of the positions, the problem is that he's going to have to give up his Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off, and that's probably going to be an issue. So there's that. So I don't think he's gonna. Yeah, and really, I don't think he's ever going to get lead position. I think he's too much of an asshole. Nobody really likes him. I've talked about him before. We call him Money Mike. Always claims he has so much money and all these extravagant cars, and he said that he had a 2010 Porsche Carrera, and they stopped making those in 07 or something like that, or 06, 2006 I think it was, or something like that. He might have bought it in 2010 if he, you know, if that was the case, because he does claim that it was a used car. So he might be thinking that it's a 2010 because he bought it in 2010. I don't know. But nobody's seen a hide nor hair of it. And he drives a Saturn something to work, a little piece of shit car. And I don't mean piece of shit. I don't mean Saturns or piece of shit, even though that is my view on my opinion on Saturns. But no, this is car that the paint is so faded, it's ridiculous. It sounds like it runs like crap. It's It's like a car that only a homeless person would be able to buy, basically. But I understand him having that car to drive to and from work. He lives, according to him, he lives in Maricopa County, or Maricopa City, and which is not that far, or it's about the same distance from work as it is to my place. So, it's possible that, and I can see it, he got that car just to drive to and from work, but I'm not that gas conscious about it, or whatever you want to call it. If I had a car that drove, 4 miles per gallon, but I didn't have any other vehicle, I would still drive it. I wouldn't trade it for anything if I, knew that was going to be my only car. Or the only, I don't know. Some of you know what I'm talking about. I drive this Mustang. Currently it's telling me I'm getting 23.6 average miles per gallon. I know that if I slowed down and went slower than the speed limit, that average would actually go up. Before I got the tuner, I was doing about 24 miles per gallon, a little bit more than that if I was cautious on the acceleration. But it wasn't like, it was dire need. After I got the tuner, it did drop that 1 mile per gallon. But I mean, that's kind of the price you pay for something that, goes better, makes you feel happy. And, if I were to do something like get something that would be more economical to get to and from work, I'd probably get a motorcycle. I know exactly what type of motorcycle I'd get. What I could afford is probably not that. But what I want is kind of like a cafe racer style motorcycle, but something that I could use off-road, something that I could possibly jump ruts and whatnot. So, in case my parents ever go off-roading with their ATVs. I don't want necessarily an ATV or anything like that, but I want something I can take off-road with them. And they don't have, they got the sports utility ATVs, so they're not, jumping hills and jumping from 30, 40 foot gaps and whatnot. They are, rock crawling, basically, trudging through mud, stuff like that. And that's what I want an off-road motorcycle, like a motocross bike, but I want that kind of fast look. The look where you go, oh man, that thing can go 180 miles an hour easy. And I forget what, I've seen one before, and I was like, that's the bike that I want. And I've consulted one of my coworkers who's, he actually left himself. He got into, dropped out because they wanted him to commit to the hours that he could not commit to because he had a second job and school. So he dropped out. But he was a very avid motorcycle enthusiast. And he told me that what was it? Not Kawasaki. God, what was it? Now I can't even remember. But there's like 2 motorcycle companies out there that have bikes that are like that, like what I'm looking for. But the kind of bike that I was kind of thinking of was more of a traditional cafe racer where it's all stripped down, stripped of all its parts except for the stuff that's needed to go, and stuff like that. But then I'm thinking I might want to get one that has all the fairings and all that stuff, so it's easier to clean off if I get mud up on it, stuff like that. I don't know. But, you know, if I can get a motorcycle that does 80 on a, at least 80 on a highway, and because the speed limit on most of the highway to work is 75, so 80 would be perfect. But also get, you know, 100, 200, 300 miles per gallon. That'd be freaking awesome. I would save so much money. Even if the gas tank was like only a 1 gallon gas tank, which it would probably have to be at least 1 gallon. If it got 100, say it's about, let's round it up, or round it to about 90 mile. Yeah, let's round it up to about 90 miles round trip to and from work. It's actually, you know what? Let me do this. Points of interest. Ferrets. There we go. Work is currently showing 36 miles. So if we go and say, because we got another, how many miles till home? 3.5 miles. So we said work was 36, so say 35 plus 3 plus, well, 35 plus 4 would be 39 miles. So let's say 40 miles. Round trip would be 80 miles. So if I got 100 gallons per gallon, or 100 miles per gallon, if I got that, then that would be awesome. Yeah, I would only need a 1 gallon tank. I think everybody's slowing down to below the speed limit because they see all those flashing lights up ahead, which is stupid. But so 1 gallon tank would get me round trip, assuming that, you know, got 100 miles per gallon. I think motorcycles get something like 200 or 300 miles per gallon or something like that, because they're very efficient on gas. But interestingly, Mythbusters have proved that motorcycles are actually worse for the air. But then they made a a few discoveries during that. It only really applied to the really old motorcycles, especially in motocross. So anyways, I would need to get a motorcycle license, I assume, but I would need to get a motorcycle first, I would assume, as well. Maybe not. I don't know how the process works. I know in California, if you have a motorcycle, you can go over to the police station, any police station that has their road course set up, and they will, all you have to do is go through that, and then you get approved or something like that. What is going on over here? Oh, must have been a major crash. Well, pull over already, you dumb fuck. Oh, damn, those lights are bright. So yeah, you'd be able to go to their little road course thing, and you drive through that. If you pass the course there, then they approve you for your license, which is cool. I don't know if they do that out here, but it'd be nice to, at the very least, get a motorcycle license and ride that to work pretty much every day, any day that's not, but then I'd have to really look out for the weather, and yeah, but then again, all that is money. Hopefully being a lead gives me extra money that can go towards saving up, and I doubt it. Because I've said it before, once we got tenants, paying tenants, I was supposed to start paying rent. I was supposed to be paying rent as well. Why are you around him? You know what I'm thinking I might do? I might get some doorbells. Some whatchamacallit doorbells? Wireless ones. And put all of them outside where and then label them all, of course, so that each one of us has their own doorbell. So if we're expecting somebody important, we would know exactly who to call, or we'd know whose doorbell is being rung, you know. We would know if my parents are coming over, I'd know that it was them because they'd ring mine, or if one of the renters brings a friend over, a quote-unquote friend, we would know whether it was for him or not, or whatever. So I think I might do that. Anyways, good luck.